Breaking news. After Vince McMahon's original retirement in 2022, Triple H became WWE's Chief Content Officer. According to Tommy Carlucci, a former employee of WWE, the game may have decided to leave the organization after the previous chairman made a triumphant return. Steph McMahon, who is both her father's daughter and Triple H's wife, took over as co-CEO of the Stamford-based corporation when McMahon retired. Upon her father's return as executive chairman in January 2023, however, the billion-dollar princess quit. Kevin Nash, a WWE Hall of Famer and personal friend of the game, recently made the assertion that the 14-time world champion would have done what his wife did if McMahon had taken creative power away from him when he returned. In response to Nash's remarks on the podcast Behind the Turnbuckle, Tommy Carlucci said that Triple H may have decided to leave the business in order to make a statement after McMahon's return. Even after McMahon's return, the game may have left Triple H for greener pastures, as Carlucci said that the 78-year-old did not want to be involved in any of the company's endeavors, including NXT. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's present relationship with Vince McMahon was recently discussed by Vince Russo, a former head writer for WWE. He said that their relationship had deteriorated. In an interview with the Wrestling with the Devil podcast, the 63-year-old expressed his belief that Triple H's friend Bruce Pritchard, a previous close colleague of McMahon, has flipped on the former chairman, the game. While speaking with the 78-year-old, Russo said that Pritchard had become an informant for him. Outside of the ring, Triple H goes by Paul Levesque, and he has been an integral part of WWE's evolution as an executive and performer. His influence continued to grow during Vince McMahon's short leave in 2022, after he had already spent years driving WWE's talent development and creating engaging material for fans. In particular, Triple H's work in developing NXT and crafting character-driven stories that maintained fan interest over the long haul was crucial in changing the face of WWE. Some have speculated that Triple H may have contemplated leaving WWE to make a strong statement about his status and future plans in light of the recent return of a prominent executive. Speculation over Triple H's possible departure has drawn attention from both fans and insiders as a symbol of the rift between the veteran roster and the fresh creative direction he symbolizes at WWE. A number of people, including fans, anonymous insiders, and former WWE workers, have speculated about Triple H's alleged decision to step down as CEO and the consequences that may follow. Triple H's creative goal for WWE has always been clear: a style that is more character-driven and athletic. A more devoted fan base was drawn to WWE as a result of his attempts to rebrand NXT and give new talent the spotlight. Character development, genuine rivalries, and long-term storytelling were all hallmarks of his style, which stood in contrast to the more commercial periods of wrestling. A lot of WWE fans were looking for something grittier and more interesting than what they usually get from the company, and he delivered with NXT. Triple H spearheaded a creative revolution that brought WWE back to its original shape with a more engaging product after Vince McMahon's short leave in 2022. The show's ratings went up. More people than ever before went to WWE events, and Triple H's leadership was widely praised online. The return of Vince McMahon to WWE after the company's sale to Endeavor cast doubt on WWE's creative direction once again. A surprise to fans, and maybe a threat to Triple H's creative authority. Vince McMahon's return to WWE's boardroom earlier in 2023 was everything but predictable. Despite McMahon's legendary status in WWE, he often fought with Triple H's direction, which may have caused friction behind the scenes. Triple H's emphasis on wrestling stood in stark contrast to McMahon's scripted, entertainment-driven product and his customary emphasis on marketable, larger-than-life characters. The rivalry between McMahon and Levesque's techniques is emblematic of the deeper schism between the traditional and modern approaches to creative thinking inside WWE. With McMahon's return came the possibility of a more commercialized and flexible framework, which may limit Triple H's ability to create stories with greater complexity. The fact that several prominent superstars, including as Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed, who were either hired by Triple H or promoted by him, had their promotions canceled or changed following McMahon's return, suggested a change in creative control. An ex-WWE employee recently said that Triple H could have pondered quitting the company to make a statement if WWE's creative direction had strayed too far from his vision. This source claims that Triple H cared strongly about the wrestlers he had a hand in developing, and that he wanted to make sure that WWE never lost sight of the in-ring action and plots that had propelled these superstars to stardom. If Triple H believed his efforts to promote WWE's up-and-coming talents were being eroded, the former employee said, he would not want to remain. There have been whispers that Triple H has been quietly exploring options outside of WWE and has even considered bringing his skills to a different brand. There may not be any proof of this, but it has generated a lot of interest. According to those in the know in the wrestling industry, if Triple H were to resign, it may set off a chain reaction that would attract additional WWE employees and stars who share his views. The departure of Triple H would signal a change in WWE's long-established culture, which may cause viewers to notice the creative divisions inside the company. A vital issue arises in light of Triple H's alleged contemplation of an exit. What would the impact of his departure be on WWE's present and future stars? Under Triple H's direction, wrestlers like Shayna Baszler, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens have flourished. Triple H has propelled these superstars to new levels by promoting storylines that highlight the abilities and character development of wrestlers. Scripted promos, celebrity appearances, and one-off spectacles would likely replace in-ring narrative as WWE's primary priority in the event of Triple H's departure. This may hinder the growth of younger players who flourished under Triple H's direction because of the freedom and creative control they had. Many wrestlers look up to Triple H and consider him a father figure or mentor. Others have even quietly voiced their respect for his work. For many in WWE, his departure as boss would be a devastating blow. Beyond his creative selections, Triple H has altered WWE's whole economic model with his attitude. He advocated for a long-term wrestling style that might potentially attract fans from all walks of life. Triple H has had a profound impact on WWE's talent development strategy, recruiting practices, and relationships with independent circuit wrestlers and overseas companies. Upon his departure, WWE may revert to a paradigm that is more centered on entertainment, putting a stop to these projects. Fans may notice a change in WWE storytelling without Triple H, with a focus on more shocking angles rather than long-term drama. Because of this change, some viewers may go for other wrestling organizations, like as AEW, where plots are often given greater space to flourish. There would be an instant power vacuum in WWE's management structure without Triple H, and fans would be understandably concerned that the company would return to its formulaic style, the one that caused ratings and audience engagement to plummet in the past.